So hands up, who's conceded goals in the 93rd, the 95th, 96th minute in Football Manager to lose the game? It's heartbreaking, it's infuriating, but it's also a nice part of the game, isn't it?
No! God, please, no! No!
Today I'm going to show you how to manage the last 20 minutes of a football game by shutting up shop for closing out the game to ensure that that doesn't happen moving forward. Let's go. So for today's tutorial, we are Swansea and we're away to QPR. We've obviously not played the game. I've got no idea how the game is going to go, and that's kind of irrelevant. The whole purpose of this is just to show you the tools that you can put in place to manage the end of a game. We might be winning 4-0 at that point. We might be losing 3-0. But what I'll show you, you can apply to any game when that moment arises, when you actually need to close out a game. So the first bit is the preparation work, and that's over in the tactics screen. Now, I've got a tactic here called the front 5, and you will have your own bread and butter tactic in this space that you will inevitably start the game using. What you need to do is come up here on the plus button and copy that tactic. So you've got a duplicate version of it. Now, I know there is a way to set it up just for the next game, but because this is going to be a tactic that we're going to use going forward for all of these last 20-minute games, it's quite important to keep it there. So it's simple for you to jump into as and when you need it. So picture the scene. It's 70th minute, it's 0-0 or we're 1-0 up. We want that draw, we want that win. This tactic isn't going to work. We're going to advance forward, shadow striker. It's very, very attacking. So I'm going to do some tweaking now and I'll come back to you with the finished article and then we'll talk through it. Okay, work done. So we've got the front 5, the original one there. And this is what we've done. We've got the front 5, last 20. So for the last 20 minutes of a game, this is what it shifts to. And if you look, it does technically keep the same shape. So it's now a 4-1-4-1 as opposed to a 4-3-3, if you want to call it that. Is a bit of a messy tactic, to be fair. So this bit's super important. You take your tactic and you make it a bit more robust. Now let's start off with the team instructions first of all. On this side, we've gone back to cautious, which I find is the best one for defending, but with that degree of flexibility to still counter when you need it. For the last 20 minutes, if you're drawing or winning against a better team, they're going to be coming at you. The ability to counter-attack is important, and defensive does not offer that one. So in my personal opinion, cautious is the best option for mentality. In possession, we've dropped it back to shorter, and tempo is very, very slow indeed, and I've added in be more disciplined. The rest of it I'm happy with for my team, and time wasting is going to be something we add, but that's going to be in game. In transition, traditionally I go for counter press and counter. I've taken this one off to regroup so we do actually keep our shape, and I've not selected anything here. I want to hold our shape, but I want the flexibility to counter, which links into the cautious approach. So let's just take that off entirely, and these 3 were originals for my tactics. So again, just subtle changes. And out of possession, without a doubt the most important part, I go for a mid block. Again, you do what you want to suit your own tactic, but personally I drop it back to lower so we're not too low, and we've got that mid block where the midfielders are going to be the line of engagement, where they're going to be the ones taking the ball off the opponents. Lama did a brilliant video to show when balls are coming over the top, we basically don't look at the centre backs, we look at where those balls are coming from. So my midfielders are going to be integral to that. We've removed prevent short goalkeeper distribution with the assumption that the ball is going to be coming long because they're going to be attacking us. We're triggering a little less, but it's still going to be pressing, but in this area of the mid block, and the rest of it we're not going to touch. You can by all means, if you play wide, if you play centrally, you can trap inside and trap outside, but for my tactic I like that it's nice and compact as it is. Then looking at the player roles, I've gone through it and I've changed roles that I think better suit the tactic. For example, an inverted wing back on attack, I'm thinking of the shape. I want him to be a wing back on support, to stay in the wide areas and not too high up the pitch. Same with the wingers here, they've been dropped back, and I've shifted up some of the duties. Centre mid attacker's gone to support, deep line playmaker support has gone to defend. Little tweaks indeed. Up top, pressing forward is the obvious option for this one. So the team instructions are done, the player roles are done. Importantly, and this is the bit you need to do, is go through every player and make sure there's no contradictory instructions that you're asking them to do. So for example, Alex Scott, I did have move into channels. I've taken that off. For ICD, I asked him to cross from the byline, which would have been up here. So again, I've taken that off. So go through individually and remove the ones that contradict a defensive nature. And of course, save that as your version last 20. Now the next super important part, and I'm going to help you all out here, is set pieces. I've set up a whole suite of set pieces for defending. Every single area within your corners, free kicks, every single one of these has got a defensive mentality, and there is a structure to it. For example, the one I'm on now, we've got attacking, left, direct free kicks. All my defenders are staying back. The taker is Matty Grimes. Now, frustratingly, this one is hard-coded, so you can't go for a short free kick. It's going to go mixed regardless. So all I've done, I put one player in the centre. Hopefully, we're not going to aim for him. I've got Lurk outside area, so he's got options to pass to. And then, because it's on the left-hand side, I've asked my midfield left player to stand with the taker, which really keeps the shape of the team. On the right hand side, I've duplicated that with a midfield right to stand with the taker. Hopefully that makes sense. So I've got an option on this side, and they're not going to be running back into position if we lose the ball. So for the set pieces, there'll be a download link in the TMS Discord. Head on over there. This will all be available to you under one routine called Defending Set Pieces is all there, which will be attached to this tactic. Of course, with this tactic, I've got my original attacking set pieces, and this is an area some people forget about. I'm certainly guilty of it. If we get to the last 20 minutes, you tweak all this, but you don't look at the set pieces, you don't shift up the corners, the free kicks, throw-ins. I've gone into every nook and cranny of these to create super defensive set pieces that will help you. What you can sometimes find is you shift the formation, you get a corner, and all your defenders are up there in the last 5 minutes when you're desperately holding on to a lead, which you obviously do not need. So that's all the pre-game work done. Now there's going to be a little bit of in-game work we're going to do, so let's jump into the match. It's the 70th minute against QPR. We've come back. It's 2-1. Now to jump into the in-game management to close out this game. So with the game paused on the 68th or the 69th minute, we're going to jump into tactics to start tweaking things to get secure. Get that tactic up and running. The front 5, last 20, or whatever it is for your version. And that's the one button you click. And don't forget, we got the set pieces sorted, we got the formation. Everything is done and dusted for you. Right, so the formation has gone back to the last 20. We'll hit confirm changes, and we're going to make sure we're on a nice slow pace here because we want to be on the ball. And this is where the analytics come in. Make sure you've got all the information at your disposal. Later scores we don't need. We need the formation for QPR, and we're looking for substitutes. And the easiest way to spot that is looking for this heart. Like Willock's just come on. He is full of energy running around. The heat map I want to see. And we can go to the away stats to take a look at how we're doing, and even more importantly, home stats to see how they're doing. Okay, so let's hit play for the next 10 minutes of this game, watching things very closely. And we're in the 80th minute now, and they're going to come forward, and we're defending properly. So we've got a throw-in up here, technically an attacking throw-in, and all my players are back where I want them in a nice shape. And Willock, the danger man, has got free, and Ramsey's covered him lovely. But that is a big worry there, the fact that they're coming down this right-hand side and they're getting through. Are they going to get another cross in now, or are we going to close it out? It seems that this is where they're attacking us most, so we're going to nullify this as soon as this attack finishes. We've defended well. We're right back. We're pressing them well. Shaqiri's done brilliantly there. He's pressing forward. The winger on support is pressing forward. And look at that. We've pushed them all the way back. A great example of what we need to do. But now we're not pushing up too high. We're still mid-block to make sure where the ball comes in, we'll win it in the right areas. Rainier does brilliantly well. And now we need to keep hold of the ball and press forward lovely. Scott coming forward. If we can get a goal here, this is a perfect example of how we can also use the counter-attacking football. Asaidi gets the ball into Zakiri, unlucky boy, but we'll get a corner for that one. Now for the resulting corner, another nice example to show you how we're not going gung-ho. The 4 boys defensively are back there. We're going to play it short, hopefully, and the boys on the outside are there to claim any knockdowns with just my striker in the middle. Please don't hit the ball in there, Football Manager. It's just not going to work. He's going to come out to close it down, but we still got options to go short. What's Grimes going to do? He goes in there. Of course he does. But luckily, the ball comes out to Rainier, and we've got options on the outside, and that is just terrible decision-making. 81 minutes gone. I'm liking how this is going. I'm going to pause it there. Now, the one thing I didn't do with instructions on the 20-minute tactic on purpose is the time wasting. Because it was 20 minutes left, I wanted to add that in 10 minutes in. So something else to remember. Go to time wasting and click on OK. So with 10 minutes to go, let's press pause. And we need to check the state in the pitch. Still only one substitute they've made out there. But we're going to jump into opposition instructions to look at some of the danger men on this pitch. So Lyndon Dykes has come on, Jimmy Dunn has come on, and Chris Willock was already on. So Lyndon Dykes, we're going to put him onto his weak foot. He's going to go up top as a bit of a target man. So I'm going to make sure somebody's marking in my taller person. And then Taylor Richards, who's becoming a little bit of a playmaker, we're going to press him a little bit more and push him onto his weak foot. So let's confirm those. Let's pause it quickly. We've got a highlight to us, which is great for a free kick. Let's jump into tactics first of all, because the fitness is very low here. The first thing I want to do in the middle of the park here, Rainier is going to come off of Fulton, definitely. I know he's only been on the pitch for a short amount of time. I did have him in as a central mid support, but I've swapped them back over because it just suits. And then Jakiri, who is really our only source of an outlet, he's going to come off for Obafemi simply because he's got pace to burn, his mentals are decent, and he suits that pressing forward role. And to counteract that work they're doing down the right-hand side, Ogben is going to go to a defensive winger on support to shore up that side. You can see we got one substitute left, and I'm going to keep that there just to be a little bit more reactive. And then we're going to come into Vital's page, who is the taller centre-back we've got, and we're going to ask him to mark Lyndon Dykes because I need somebody on him one-on-one. Let's confirm those changes. Now, the free kick we're looking at is an attacking free kick. I've just got the one person in the box and the rest are lurking outside. To be fair, I don't like that. That is a terrible system from Sports Interactive. They should be a lot more spread out. But let's see how this works. And even then, Grimes should be going a lot shorter, but instead hoofs it long to Scott, who luckily gets the ball, but loses out to Dykes, who can potentially come forward here. Luckily, our players, we've got enough back there. And Rainier's in a nick in to get the ball here. Can he get through? He gets a shot, but it goes over. 5 minutes left. Okay, we're at the 90-minute mark and nothing much has happened. We are nullifying all the attack from QPR. They've made no more substitutes for us. Dunn has come on at the back, which is fine for us. We've got no issues there. And with 6 minutes added on, we're going to pause it there. Since we do have one more substitute to make, we're going to use it for a fresh pair of legs. Naka is now knackered and he's nervous, so he's going to come off for Nathan Wood, who's going to give us a bit of energy in the danger area of the pitch to hopefully close out the remainder of this game. Let's go. Oh, it's a highlight with 20 seconds past and 96. Surely not. We've got loads of boys back. Let's pause it there a second. Oh, God. What's the centre-back going to do here? Luckily, it's an attacking throw for those. All our boys are back here. What's my centre-back going to do? I think he's going to lose the ball now, isn't he? He's gone back to the goalkeeper, who goes long. Fulton could chase that, and that's going to be the end of the game. Surely it is. We've done it. We've closed it out. And in reality, we've beaten them against the grain. We've won that 2-1. And QPR was slightly better, I would say. They had a bit more shots than us, certainly more on target. XG beat us 1.9 to 1.23. I think they deserved more than a loss from that game, certainly. And those defensive set pieces in particular for the last 20 certainly helped. And the little tweaks we made to make it more disciplined, more rigid at the back, has got us those 3 points. So as I mentioned at the start, this isn't necessarily a tutorial. There's little snippets there that you can use for your own tactic to help you close out the last 20 minutes of that game. Set pieces, man, they're so important, and it's something that I didn't do until a few weeks ago. The download link will be just down below for the TMS Discord. Pop on over. The defensive set pieces will be there for you, but more importantly, set up that defensive tactic for your version you're using. If you do like these tactical videos, check out this video next. It's another great one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.